Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Rising Superstream, where it's 2019 and we're still playing Final Fantasy 15. Over 2 years strong. I would say, and not slowing down, but we all explicitly know that this game is grinding to a sudden and abrupt halt sometime near the end of spring. So, hey, you get what you get, I guess. Welcome back. Somehow Prompto got hit and took a bunch of damage. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe I just saved with him at 50% HP. Not totally sure what happened to Prompto, but I'm sure he'll be fine. Also, Noctis has 400 HP? What the fuck is going on there? Why does Noctis only have 400 HP? I'm like an insanely high level. Fuck, I have rare metal equipped, that's why. That makes more sense. Cool, we're good now. Welcome back. Today we're going to be checking out the recently released crossover quest that released. I don't know that it actually has a name. It's just the FF14 crossover event or something like that. We gotta go bike over somewhere with our truck car. Apparently I'm supposed to go, because it didn't appear on my quest list, and I was like, oh my god, did I download this? I checked my updates, sure enough, I did download it. Apparently I need to go to Kothes rest area, and then it'll be able to start. Shit. Shit. Where is it? We're off to a good start. Off to a rollicking start. When is the Quiet Man FF15 event? Man, hopefully soon. They must have meant Longwythe and not Kothes. Because I don't think there is a Kothes one, is there? There's Kernix. Oh no, here it is. Kothes. Fuck. Fuck do I know about FF15? Nothing, apparently. Hey there, Namheart. How you doing? It's the game that keeps on giving. Yeah, kind of. Yes and no, right? They've it started off a bit rough, but they've genuinely improved it and added tons of free content. So it did get better. It did get a lot better. And then there's all the content you have to buy.
Help!
Yeah, here we go.
Please, somebody help me!
So I think that's what's her face. Accepted. We're just on the quest. Is that an FF14 UI element there? The accepted
Sure
thing,
did.
by the way?
Sounded like somebody calling for help.
Shall we have a look around, Noct?
Let me know if volume's an issue, by the way. Because if it is, I can address that. In there, okay. Yeah, that is an FF14 UI element? Cool. Oh shit, let me go get this item. Fuck her. Nope. Nope, not getting the item.
Yikes! That is the most humongous chocobo
Oh,
I've
he's so
ever
cute.
seen.
Get off me!
You okay? You know, considering you're underneath a giant bird.
It appears to have found a new
The big
nesting
chungabo?
spot.
Is that what it's called?
Usually, I can entice it into moving with a treat.
Right, chocobo feet. Okay, hold on.
That's how it was in Monster Hunter? Shit, did it appear in Monster Hunter 2? That's an FF14 UI element I recognize. This one I remember.
Got beef with my greens?
He's a pretty picky eater. He only eats the very best veggies.
Sounds like somebody I know.
That's so. Nah, Noct wouldn't eat his veggies if they were the last food on Eos.
All right, perhaps we should pop by the post. Wiz might have some good food for sale.
So I hear we get to go to like a pretty cool place at some point during this event. But for the time being, I guess I have to do some actual EOS stuff. Okay, so let's head to Wiz Chocobo Post, which will be just as thrilling as the last auto
Never knew
travel.
chocobos could grow up to be such big birds.
It is quite curious, given that chocobos are known for their high metabolism.
Wiz Chocobo Post is just up here. Yeah. By the racetrack. God, I barely touched these racetracks.
Those lucky.
And now we wait. Did you ever upgrade to Royal Edition? I did actually. Despite the fact that I didn't stream any of Royal Edition stuff, I did do all of it. If my trophy list would populate, I could prove it. It's all there. God, that took a lot. Royal Edition was cool. Chapter 14 was like so dramatically improved on the base game. The Armiger Unleashed is fucking awesome and kind of really overpowered as well. I thought Royal Edition was cool. I enjoyed it. Better off just playing that version than touching the base version at all nowadays. Can you even buy the base version anymore? I don't know. Premium Gasol Greens, let's go. I don't know if I have this Cactuar statuette, so I'll pick it up.
Thanks. Come back soon.
Yeah, 15 got such a raw deal. It's a bummer. I mean, I already did a whole video on that. If you're interested, it's on my YouTube channel where I just talk about the situation with FF15's DLC being canned.
Speaking of, she looks
I'm not gonna like go into another 45-minute talk about it, but it is a bummer. It is a real bummer. I would have loved to get to finish out all the planned DLC, but I'm not too surprised when we like saw how much money they wrote down and how clear it is that Royal Edition probably did not do the numbers they were hoping and stuff. So, what did Royal Edition add? It added boat stuff, so you could boat in a certain portion of the ocean. You can also boat to Altissia now yourself manually. Like you don't have to just like auto boat. It added the Regalia Type D, the off-road one that I have equipped right now, and 3 racetracks for that. Armiger Unleashed, which is like a better form of Armiger, like Noct's like superpower thing. Improved Chapter 14, and boy is it improved. It adds like 6 or 7 bosses to that chapter.
High-quality greens.
It's ridiculous.
Set 'em down.
It also like
Over there.
takes the small open area of Insomnia and like fleshes it out a little,
Take it
adds a bunch of
easy
like
up there,
side quests
will
and
ya?
quest givers and people to talk to and shit. So
Thank
just big
goodness.
improvements all over the place.
Oh, thanks so much. You're lifesavers.
Don't sweat it. After all, helping people's what hunters do best.
Whoa now. Easy there, tough guy.
Hunters?
You know, people who slay wild beasts and stuff.
Oh, so you're like adventurers. I'm Yajime of the Y Tribe.
The what tribe?
So glad I ran into you. I have the perfect quest for you adventurers. You know that big walled area nearby? Something terrible is about to happen inside.
Is this the Fat Chocobo theme from FF14? Is that a thing?
What are they plotting within?
They're preparing to perform a divine summoning. They're going to summon a god.
Right.
As opposed to...
I believe the name speaks for itself.
In the trailer, they play that like super seriously, but I love how that's played for jokes here.
This world will be in big trouble, you know? You don't want that to happen, do you? You have to help me, please.
Okay, jeez.
Oh, great. Here, take this link pearl. We can use it to keep in touch with each other.
Slow down a sec.
God, they're so fucking lost.
Let's be sure to meet up again a little later. All right, adventurers. See you soon.
Hey, wait up!
Oh, this song's humoresque of a little dog? Okay, cool. I will look at that track later.
Guess she wasn't listening.
I want to go look at that large lad in the back. He's so cute. I love his teeny tiny wings that clearly wouldn't work. Oh, can I pet him?
We couldn't even get a word in edgewise. Does
I'll
this
let
mean we're
Prompto speak.
locked into helping her? And going on an adventure?
Given the Empire's penchant for demonizing the divine, I'm afraid we can't stand to let this go.
So what? We just follow her straight into the belly of the beast?
Well, my friends, doesn't sound like we have much of a choice.
Oh yeah, Royal Edition adds first person too. I forgot about that. But it's only first person when you're not like examining stuff. You can play the whole game in first person. It's odd. It doesn't work great, honestly. It's only good if you want to like look at things or like take screenshots or whatever. I don't recommend actually using it for like anything though. Especially because like when you want to turn around, you actually have to like let Noctis turn around. I don't know if you can see how he's doing like little U-turns there when I'm switching direction on the stick. That's just what turning around in first person is like in this game. So, it's whatever. It's a cute addition that, I mean, you don't have to use and you honestly shouldn't. So, also it's mapped to like L3 and R3, so you don't actually have to like fuss in the options with it. You can just like do it whenever you want for fun, I guess. Like it should be. You don't like Skyrim mode. Yeah, basically. Oh, I should have off-roaded it, but you know what? This is fine. My good tunes aren't on. Where's my near music? There's no like making playlists or anything. And there's so many cars. So many songs, you just have to scroll forever. Yeah, there we go. Lucky me. Look, Gladio found a book. Fat Chocobo can fly in 14 by using a slice of cake on a stick. Oh, that's so cute. That's actually really charming that he'd like power through it just for the cake.
Should be a nice change of pace.
Adorable. Had something come up as the stream started. Did I miss anything? No, pretty much nothing. Pretty much zilch. I think we're just about to get to the real beginning. There's that thing in FF15 where you hit X to examine something and you jump because it's the same button. You know, I can't believe that was never like really addressed.
How am I supposed to
Maybe it's such a
this?
deep problem that it wasn't easy to address, but it's goofy.
Can you hear me okay?
How do you get near music? If your game is just up to date, it'll have some near music in it.
Okay,
It just got patched in at some point. Granted, you may have to buy it from a store in the game, but I can't remember. So, were people who purchased the second season pass compensated in any way since all they're getting is one of the 4 advertised packs? They actually never sold the second season pass. It was actually never on sale. So, yeah. I think, you know, they were rightfully waiting until they could announce the content and really show it off to sell it. So, they never actually did sell it. Recommended for players 45 or higher. Also, you cannot save or... Yeah, so this is just like the Terra Battle quest. Where it's just going to pop us back. Oh, this is cute. Let's commence then. Let's do it. Okay, so this is the area. It's just a base that got all FF14'd up. Okay. I was under the impression we were going to get like teleported to FF14 land or something. But, you know, this is fine. Whatever. The bases are big and like empty anyway, so yeah, just use one of these guys. Y'all see that Catherine's probably coming to PC. Yeah, that's cool for sure. Even if it's just base Catherine and not the new one, it's still better than no Catherine. So I'll take it.
It's quiet. Too quiet.
After the Empire,
But I'm gonna be playing the
withdrew
new
its
Catherine on my
troops,
Vita
this
anyway,
space
so.
remained completely barren until now.
Yeah, Jimmy? Where are you?
Hey, can you see me? Up here. There's something I want to show you. Do you think you can possibly make it over this
I'm
way?
sure we'll find a way.
On my way. Stay right where you are.
Maybe get down from there
She's
though.
got something to show us. I'll go.
By yourself?
Yeah, it's faster that way. And who knows what she'll do if we take too long.
Good point. We'll stay here and take care of whatever comes our way.
Okay, so this has just been converted into a vaguely 14-themed dungeon. I guess. Okay, now it just looks like a 15-themed dungeon. Like, that area had some greenery and shit, but now it's like, nope, wait, just a 15 base.
You can climb up around there and make your way over.
There was a speculation that the Terra Battle DLC quest and the well, this DLC quest were built using the quest creation tools that they were planning to release for PC, but that ended up being canned. Which is why like these quests feel a lot more basic than like the main DLCs that came out for like Gladio and Prompto and shit. Personally, I'm willing to believe that theory. Oh, this song is from FF14 as well for Imperial Base Infiltration. Neat. Some awkward FF15 platforming. The fact that you can't like instantly turn on the spot without moving a little makes it like pretty cumbersome in some instances.
You'll be able to see it pretty soon.
There's an entire dungeon like super late in the game, really well hidden. I think it's called the Pitios dungeon. That is basically 99% platforming. There's a few enemies you have to fight, but they're like just token enemies. They're super, super weak. And that dungeon takes like literally multiple hours to platform through. It's just so big. Like 2 to 3 hours to go through. Even going quickly. Ugh. It's kind of charming when you get used to it, the weird feel of the platforming in this game, but it's always a little rough. Okay, there's that battle area. That was why I thought you go to FF14 land, because they show this battle area from like up close, like during the actual fight in the trailer, and I was like, oh, that doesn't look like Eos. Well, it does, I guess. I guess I was wrong.
You made it! I'd expect nothing less from an expert adventurer.
Ratchet20 says FF15 platforming is the best, don't at me.
What was it you wanted to show me?
I won't at you.
What's up with those ears and that
Other people might.
tail?
First, what I wanted to show
It's
you.
weird though.
Why don't you use this telescope and see for yourself?
I don't know where I'm supposed to look.
Do you see that huge machine and that strange-looking ritual going on?
Yeah.
Let me
Is that the machine?
see.
I see the ritual.
What are those things? And what are they doing?
They're XIV beastmen. They're getting ready to perform the divine summoning. It's a secret ritual that calls forth Garuda, Lady of the Vortex, chosen primal of the Ixal.
Right, I get it. Just like forging a covenant. And what happens if this Garuda shows up?
Gelton
anyway?
Z talking about how Happy
The gods
Manager,
manifest
the game,
themselves
got
by
ruined.
drawing energy
Happy
from the
Manager
land.
sucked,
And this
man.
particular
That game was
god
gonna suck no matter what.
Uh-huh. Which means lots of destruction.
That.
Well, guess we better do something then.
Exactly. I know it's a dangerous endeavor, but you adventurers have to stop the ritual before it's too late.
Okay, let's look at more suspicious locations.
We ought to be able to get to the ritual area through that door.
Yes, but I'm pretty sure it's locked now.
Oh, I want to get the big
I think
chocobo
they
to help
locked
us
it
out.
after I escaped, so nobody could interfere with the summoning.
Sounds like they're really devoted to their cause.
I see folks in the chat talking. Well, someone mentioned that like Sony caused trouble for Nier on PC. So the situation with Nier on PC, because Nier of course was out exclusively on the PS4 for a little while, and it was coming out on PC a little later, and they were kind of cagey talking about the PC version because like clearly it was exclusive for a little while. And there's people who have alleged that like it's Sony's fault that the PC version is shaky, and like that doesn't make any sense. Honestly, like the PC version of Nier Automata has issues, but it doesn't make any sense that any of those issues have to do with Sony, really. I've seen people chatting about this on forums though, and I don't know, it doesn't make any sense.
What are those spheres moving around down there?
They're moving now? That's funny. I'm pretty sure they were stationary when I escaped from this place.
Soulshine says the telescope section was added in this as it was a key feature in the Stormblood quests. That's cool. Stormblood was the last expansion, right, for 14, I think?
Looks like the Empire knows my weakness.
Oh, are you admiring that big black Apkalu over there? Isn't he the cutest thing? Oh, I just want to take him home with me.
No, and let me say from experience, you do not want to get near that thing.
Okay, what am I looking for now? Give me something. This?
With that
Oh yeah, there we go.
statue
Okay.
over there.
You mean you haven't come across one in your adventures? I can sense the ethereal power of the winds flowing through that statue. I suspect it has something to do with the divine summoning of Garuda.
Well then, I guess we'd better go check it out.
Okay, we're good now? No. Okay, so I guess there's side stuff you can look at, like that Kenny Crow.
Well, that should about cover it. Probably can't get into
It's a
the ritual
Chozo
area
statue,
just
go
yet.
get your missiles, right?
Maybe we better start by checking out that statue.
Sounds good. And I'll go with you this time.
Chozo statues are so well designed. What a fun idea. I'm glad that like stuck with the
It's quite a
series
story you
like
brought
from
back
super
down
early
with
on.
you. No wonder you took so long.
I'm kind of jealous. Sounds just like a video game.
But we mustn't treat it like one. Still, we've seen our fair share of fantastical happenings, so we can't write it off outright.
Yeah.
You fought
Jimmy
Titan,
seems
like
genuinely worried about the whole thing.
I think even at this point in the game you
we could
fought
do
Titan.
is
Chapter
go
5
check it
this is
out.
supposed to take place after,
Oh,
so
thank you. You adventurers are the best.
okay, so let's go examine that statue, which I thought was that way, but I guess it's the other way. What happens if I look at the door? Gonna be locked, but okay, well we're just gonna jump. Just gonna jump for a bit. Oh, this door actually opens. Oh, I'm here. Okay. I thought I was at a different door.
Watch out, you
Okay, great. We're
I'll
doing fine.
distract him. You guys take him out.
I'm going all out.
Mortar system. Yeah, this sounds like some FF14 music.
I just so happen to know a little bit of Arcana. Leave the healing to me.
How come you can't do that? How the hell should I know?
I know I'm like eating explosive hits from this, but you know what? I'm so powerful that I can probably take it. Oh, it's true. The compass is 14 themed. You're right. So I want to kill this, or should I take the hit? I'll just take the hit. That's fine. No problem.
Not something on your face. You really could do with a bath.
That takes care of that.
Tell me, what sort of magic were you using?
Just a simple curative spell. I'm only a novice.
No way! You're out of this world! Literally.
You sure saved our skins. Just don't forget to save your own, too. So, is this that statue you talked about?
Not simply any statue, it's an artistic interpretation of the emissary of the winds. One of the messengers.
A friend of Gentiana's?
She never said anything about him.
Well, it's not surprising. Likely because the only tomes that mention it are of dubious origin.
Ignis is like reading
The name has been
FF14
lost to the
fanfiction
ages.
online.
No one's sure it ever existed.
Dubious
at all.
origin
The
indeed.
Empire seems pretty sure. I mean, check out all this equipment. They're doing some serious research.
I'd like to inspect it as well. There's something unusual about it. A strange power slumbering within.
Why does your Noctis look like he's
Cares about
fishing
some forgotten
24/7?
chunk
Because I got the
of
fishing
rock.
gear on him.
I think we've got more important business
I have
on
all
our
of them
hands.
with their like
Indeed.
alternate base game
The
outfits.
Considering the way those
I don't
sentries
remember if you
attacked
unlock these
earlier,
for beating
I'd say
the main
beastmen
story or
have
what,
begun
but
using the base as their
I think
own.
these are
And
all
I
from
say
the
we
base
let
game.
sleeping statues lie and go kick some beastman butt.
All right.
This way, I assume.
Check it out!
Meteor shards? The XIV beastmen must be using them.
Yeah, certainly not the most thrilling quest in this game. I'm keen to see who the boss is, but otherwise... Oh, hang on, fuck. Platforming king here.
So, do you think we're gonna have to throw down with those Ixal?
Depends on what kind of reception we get.
Jimmy, didn't you say they almost...
Is everything okay? I see a bunch of people
Yes.
saying,
I
"Oh,"
was
in the
so
stream.
scared. If my
Is everything
chocobo hadn't
fine?
been with me,
Oh, the
who
image
knows
froze
what
up for a
would have
second?
happened?
Weird. Okay.
To think of all
That's
the horrifying
odd.
things they
Is
could
that
be
the
doing
internet?
to me right now.
Oh, whatever
No,
those
huh.
horrifying
Okay, well, if
things
it's
are,
good,
I
then
definitely
we're
don't
good.
want them being done to me.
Not gonna fuss.
We're glad you made it to safety.
Protected by autonomous Magitech armor. Yeah, okay, that's a good excuse.
Autonomous Magitech armor?
Like they have a mind of their
I believe
own.
this is the
If they
only
think
place
like
in the
the
game that has
Imperials,
autonomous
they'll be out
Magitech
for
armor.
blood.
How do we get Magitech armor in this quest? Well, let me just write this on a scrap of paper. When the players read it, they'll realize it's okay. It's a fine reason. Oh man, that laser attack's really good looking. Lasers in general in this game look fantastic, honestly. And I know you're probably asking yourself, well, how many laser attacks could there possibly be in this game? A lot. If I'm not mistaken, like there's even an alligator enemy who has a laser style attack. Like he's shooting a Metal Gear Ray style like water laser, but it's still pretty much a laser.
My pleasure.
The laser gator, yeah, that's correct. That's his name. Can someone kill this so I don't need to explode every time? Come on, you can do it. I'm literally allowing you. Good job, Ignis. You got your shot. All the particles and effects look fantastic, Big Nerd Sam, honestly. Like, this game has its weaknesses visually as well. It's not perfect, but the effects are really powerful. The lighting as well is really good in this game.
They come featherless nukers have. To our goddess this new land belongs. To Garuda. Interfere with her summoning. Featherless ones must not. Must not.
They're always looking for a fight.
Is he blind this
Hey,
like
we knew
late
it
in the
was
game?
coming.
No, he's not.
No point complaining now.
This is any time after Chapter 5.
I'll keep you
So.
healed. You just focus on fighting.
Like, we're doing it with a save file, like, that's, like, super endgame. But in theory, as soon as you finish Chapter 5, you can do this quest. Invincible, huh?
Leave the healing to me.
That little cast there is pretty cool. Okay, you do take some damage.
It's on now.
Okay, but nothing to his appendages. What is this unoptimized gameplay?
Got him right where we want.
I haven't played in a while, but I still remember that this is like a win button, so I can still use that. Armored Unleashed is like maybe too powerful, honestly.
You better watch it, or else I'm gonna have to hit you with my.
You can like really scum your way through certain parts of the post-game stuff with Armored Unleashed.
Thanks for the healing.
I must say, the XIV beastmen seem all but hell-bent on seeing their so-called divine summoning to completion.
Well,
I like that there's so
hurry
much
then. I don't
FF14
think we'd
music in
stand much
this.
of a chance against the Lady of the Vortex.
Gotta find a way in first. They should be just beyond that wall. Huh.
Huh.
This is the teleporter, I presume. It looks strikingly similar.
Arzindo said he
Solheim's
scummed his way
magic
through the
technology.
entire game with Ragnarok,
this is
Sword,
what
and
the
Warp Strike.
XIV used to get here?
Warp Strike's wild.
Actually,
Like, when you kind of
yeah,
figure it
I should
out,
put this. You see,
it's pretty
they
fucking
didn't come
busted.
here
It's a
of
fun
their own
technique,
accord.
honestly.
I brought them.
What?
I kind of borrowed some valuable scholarly documents from their camp, and they kind of caught me red-handed. I managed to escape into some ancient ruins, but then there was this little accident, and, well, here we all are. I'm
Oh, wow,
sorry I
is
kept
Sonic
quiet
Forces in
about it. I
AGDQ
should've
this
told
year?
you.
Shit. I gotta check the
To
schedule.
apologize now. I mean, you did
AGDQ
cause
is on
some
now,
trouble,
by the way, for anyone
but
wondering.
You're trying to make things right.
Yeah. If it was me, I'd
Still an
probably
event
just
worth
turn
watching.
tail and run.
We appreciate you helping us understand the situation. Why not allow us to help you? in
Oh,
time?
what? During the Adamantoise fight, you can't use Legacy of the Lucii?
After all, that's
Damn.
what adventurers do, right?
But you can still use the
Save
suit that makes you
people and stuff.
invincible.
Wow, guys.
So
What
you
would
can
I
just
do
use
without
that.
you? I'm gonna do everything I can to help too.
Am I playing anything after this? Yeah, after this we're going to play Gungrave VR, which XIV was kind enough to send me a review code for.
There.
Don't have super high hopes
Should be
for
able to
it
game
based
now.
on some of the stuff I heard from when it came out in Japan, but we shall see. It takes place after Gungrave Overdose, I believe, if I remember correctly. There's actually like a new Gungrave game that came out in Japan recently. I think it's Gungrave UN. That's like built off the back of Gungrave VR. Apparently not amazing either. Oh, Gelton Z says Gungrave VR. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, fuck. Well, good. Looking forward to that. Order to withdraw from Perpetuus Keep. All personnel to evacuate immediately. In light of Chief Besithia's current condition, military officials have ordered a complete and immediate evacuation of the base. All garrison units and subordinate troops stationed in the surrounding area should begin withdrawal at once. Officers are asked to obey proper procedure and maintain strict secrecy about these orders. Okay, good. That's how you know all the soldiers are gone. They wrote a thing so they could tell you. Oh, is Gungrave UN packed with Gungrave VR in the US? Dope. Did not realize. I know it's not out here yet in the US, Gungrave UN, but... Oh, was it Prepetus? Well, hopefully I'll be able to read one day. Are you going to be picking Phantasy Star back up? I've been playing it on my own, but no plans to continue streaming it.
No.
Just
don't
too many
tell me we're
LPs
too
going on
late.
at once.
Come on!
If we had no other LPs going on, I would have kept doing it because it was super fun. I think that Phantasy Star stream was an absolute blast.
What the?
Did you get him?
I didn't even touch him. The shards!
Things are about to get ugly.
Watch out, adventurers! The Lady of the Vortex is coming! I could have sworn I just heard her.
Look! There she is!
Oh no. Were we too late?
So is Garuda like tough in FF14? Is that a thing? Oh, Soulshine literally just said, as far as Primal go, Garuda is pretty jobber tier. Oh. She looks really cool though. I mean, fuck, FF14 just has such good designs. Garuda was a legit threat before the 3.x and 4.x content. Okay. So at one point, Garuda was powerful. Fair. She was a raid boss? Okay, yeah. You don't fuck with that. God, this song's really good.
Wretched insects of this alien world,
Oh, she speaks.
rejoice and fall to your knees in supplication. I, the supreme deity Garuda, shall rule over the skies and fill them with storms.
We've already got our share of problems down here.
Fuck
This
off.
divine intervention is the last thing
Fuck
we
off back to Legoland, says Noctis.
These insolent insects seem not to know their place. Behold, as my gales drown out your arrogant protestations, tremble as my winds tear you limb from limb. Surrender yourselves unto me. I would feast.
Okay, so I just used Armager Unleashed because, to be honest, I was worried it would maybe one-shot the boss. So at least now I won't be able to one-shot the boss.
Let's be done with this riffraff.
Granted, I have no idea of the difficulty of this boss, so... My single hits are doing like a lot of damage, so...
Excuse me? Give me.
This song's pretty fucking tight, though. Gotta put both headphones on. Oh, good. Perfect. Oh my god, plumes. This, like... So I don't play many MMOs, but I know how raid bosses work conceptually. And these plumes seem like they're the dangerous thing that everyone needs to focus on quickly, or else you just die.
My power is limitless, my children rise. The sky is mine.
Chirata. Okay, so there's little guys too. Gotta see how much this does. Oh my god, it targeted a razor plume. Nice. That was exactly what I wanted. Okay, no, it still hit her. The size of that AoE. Despite everything, it's still such a janky game.
I don't know whose voice I'm following, but as long as you're helping me out, I'm with you.
Oh shit. Summon, huh? Oh my god, did they add a new summon with this DLC? Wow, okay. The summons are amazing in this game. Wow, that's fucking cool. The Terra Battle quest, of course, you just came out with the sword. The boss fight was really cool in that one, but, like, you got a sword. I wonder if we get to keep that summon. I remember the first time I saw the Rema summon in this game, which is like the first one most people would see, I was fucking blown away. The summons are really dope in this game.
Adventurers! Are you alright?
Yes. We three.
I still think Rema is like maybe the strongest one.
Oh no.
Oh wow, you do get to keep it? It's just added to your roster? That's so cool.
There you are.
Oh man, I thought you disappeared on us.
Are you hurt?
No, I think I was just dreaming.
You sure you're okay there, Sleeping Beauty?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, thank goodness. I was so afraid you'd been whisked away to my world this time.
Speaking of which, do you think you'll be able to make it back?
Well, I'm not sure. If I manage
You know what?
to
I read
walk here in
people
one piece,
speculating
I
that
imagine I'll be
like
able to head
that
home
gap where
safely,
Noctis
too.
vanished there, he probably did go to their world, and like there may be an
But of
upcoming
course,
14
I'm
event
not
where
worried.
Noctis will be there.
Besides, as a natural historian, the opportunity to explore an unknown
So maybe
world
that's a
fills
thing
my
that
heart
happened
with
there.
Excitement. I'm going to stay here a while and do some more research. If you adventurers have anything you'd like me to investigate, just let me know.
Now fight the super
that's
hard
right.
version to farm.
I never
Yeah.
asked any of
You
your
know,
names.
I appreciate not having to do that at least.
Late for that.
Come on, show the young lady a little kindness. I'm Gladio.
Me next. Prompto's my name, photography's my game.
Photography?
Taking pictures? Hold on a sec.
You had your turn.
How could I forget?
Is this how Noctis goes to Tekken?
You're some wingman.
I was defeated by the gods and awakened by a traveler from another world.
Nice. Also, we get cute costumes, right? Give me them. Yeah, there we go. Those are going right on. Those are staying on until Arden comes out. New combat content. Emergency lockdown mode has been disengaged. Access the training node to initiate a combat session. Trading post open. Oh, cool. Wow, you actually can grind. You guys weren't joking. You were actually serious when you said that. Okay, so what do we got as options here? Oh man, Omega's so hard in this game, Artofleck.
What you doing
Took
over
me
here?
ages to
I'm
beat him,
amazed the
so...
big guy even made it over here.
He's a faithful steed. Bet he'd do anything to protect his partner.
And I'm very grateful. I just wish he'd go a little lighter on me.
I like that Kenny up there.
Oh, guys, it's Kenny.
What's that next to him?
It's a paisa. I wonder what it's doing here.
Oh, Fat Chocobo has the credit sequence for this event. Talk to him when you're ready to end it. Okay, I will go back when I'm ready to end it. This is kind of neat. The Terra Battle quest was like a little short dungeon, really cool boss fight, and then it was just kind of over.
It'll be a great addition to the old scrapbook.
So there's a lot more going on here. That's cool. Again, for anyone wondering, I mean, you probably all just saw this, so you're not feeling too inclined to rush out and play this, but this is just a free patch for the game. That's cute. That's a good photo. That's Stan. It's double save. Good. Just make sure I didn't miss it. So yeah, you can just play this for free if you've got the game.
Here's one for you.
Even just the base game, if I'm not mistaken, too. You don't need Royal Edition.
Thank you
so.
very much.
Yeah, I'm surprised there's a new summon as well.
Hey, I found this. Any idea what it is?
Wow.
Like, the summon's
Got
a
your hands
dope
on something
reward.
really impressive. I think you should be able to make special weapons with that material. It just might help you adventurers out on your journey.
This music plays in the residential wards in FF14. That's cool. Gil is not accepted. Gather materials. Yeah, of course.
I'll take any old thing you've got.
I need to get vortex feathers, tomestones, adamantite. Wow, there's a lot of shit you can get. Also, you can just cash out for AP. Cost 10. Stock 0 though. I need tomestones. You can get Zubeeks? Wow. Okay. Zubeek's a weird one, but it's like a really, really rare material that you get from the zoo, which is like a super powerful enemy in the base game. The ability to just buy that material is fucking dope. And then there's just tons of new weapons. They all look like trash. I'm not gonna lie, just eyeballing the stats. For endgame, they're bad. Or like chapter 5, they might be okay. Great damage with aerial attacks. That, I mean, depending on what that multiplier is. Destroys enemy appendages. Maybe they'd be okay for the time you get them. Pain of the Vortex might be something. Reduce MP consumption as well. I'd have to like check my stats just to make sure.
I'm ready to make anything you want. Come back.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're super worth using.
I'm.
Huh. So I guess let's try one or two of these things.
What? Again?
Hold on.
They're a mixed batch for sure. Some of them seem better than others
Perhaps
in
it comes
that
in peace.
Hey,
in that
there's
shop.
something written here.
Yeah, I gotta put the costumes on. You're right. You're right. Trending node activated. Reproducing battle records. Report any bugs to sysadmin ASAP. Record reproduction complete. Ready for replication. All hail Imperial technology. Spoils rewarded upon victory. All hail Imperial generosity. Enhanced replication available. Calculating combat levels. 45 and 120. Oh man, there's a 120? Oh boy. That's 120, I believe, is the actual cap. So you level up to 100, and like XP scales normally. And I don't remember when it was that they raised the cap to 120. But leveling from 100 to 120 takes dramatically more experience. I don't know exactly what the number is compared to getting to 100, but I wouldn't be shocked to hear it was like the same amount of experience it took to get to 100. It's absurd. Like, I'm sitting on 93,000 XP, which is like it's not a huge amount, but it's a decent amount. Next level, 742k, like it's ridiculous. When you hit 100, you need gear to raise your light level, right? Basically. Okay. Oh shit, I got a t-shirt at some point during an event or something. Oh yeah. Can't believe I never put that on. Mikote, yeah, cute. What did it say? Small crystal with an image of Mikote garments sealed inside enhances vitality and spirit. Okay. Stat boosts aren't usually like a huge fuss with costumes anyway. Except for the Magitech exosuit, which just makes you invincible. Oh, the Mikote one seems like pretty solid though, stat-wise, like compared to the other ones. This one's good. I mean, they're all good. These costumes all look great. Look at that. Oh, and the tail actually moves too. That's so good. They know exactly what they're doing, and I love it. Oh, these are all the base race default outfits? Okay. So we can go back into 45, which is probably the same fight we just did. And we can try 120, but that's a sizable gap.
I will feast upon your ether. None shall stand against the wind.
Like, I think that would be the toughest boss in the game, with the exception of Omega, if I'm not mistaken, who is like the super boss for Omega, for Royal Edition. I guess possibly also as hard as doing the fight with Noctis in episode Ignis, like the highest level version of that, but that's its own thing.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Wow, that just kills? Okay, cool. Earned. Man, this camera seems ass. It's like okay when you're trying to fight something that's like away from you, but when stuff gets really close to you, it's rough, to say the least. Impulse. Hopefully Gladio can kill all of these. Impulse. Please.
Sorry.
I do wish the camera would zoom out a little more up close. These situations where you're like looking up at stuff, that's where it gets real nasty. Otherwise, it's manageable. Did you ever try the DMC5 demo? Actually, not yet. I just updated my Xbox One the other day, though. You in the air? Yeah, you're in the air. So is this like comparable to FF14's fight? Because I see Green Slime King saying they really want to make the fight just like 14. Is it like that close mechanically? Or conceptually? I mean, I imagine it plays quite differently, but maybe it's closer than I imagine. Planning to stream the Devil May Cry 5 demo? No, not really. No hard plans for that. Conceptually, it's similar. Okay. Some mechanics missing, but pretty faithful. Dope. Okay. Mostly just the mechanics with the twins and the plumes and hiding behind the crystals. Okay. Neat. Glad with that. Planning to stream the RE2 remake demo that's supposedly coming out on the 11th, and will you stream the full game? I was thinking of streaming the full game, but Global Game Jam is like literally right when it comes out, so I'm not going to be able to, because it's like RE2 comes out I think on Friday, or Thursday or Friday, and Global Game Jam is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so I'm busy. And then Tuesday Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, so I'm just not gonna have time to stream it by the time Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, and then we're gonna be on the Kingdom Hearts train for literally ever. So no plans right now. But what's Global Game Jam? Global Game Jam is a game jam event that takes place globally, where there's a theme. Everyone has the same theme. It's usually one word, and everyone's just got to make a game over the course of the weekend. Tiny game based on that theme. It's fun. I did it last year actually. I made a VR thing for Gear VR with 2 friends of mine. We had a blast. Selection inadvisable. Ooh, time to die. If you want to grind out Garuda, Vortex feathers from breaking her wings. Okay, good to know. I don't think I will, but yeah, we won an award, yeah, for our thing. It was fun. I mean, you know, there were like 30 teams and there were like 12 awards, so like, you know, it wasn't like we were like first of 200 or something like that, but we did. It was nice. So we each got a little like trophy thing that I got in the other room, and we got like a couple miscellaneous things from like local game studios that support the event. Wow. Do you guys program? I don't program, no. A buddy of mine did the programming for us last year. Yeah, this is gonna be This is gonna be maybe not happening, so we'll try our best though.
How are we? Getting by.
So yeah, we're gonna do something again next year, or this year. One of our like big regrets last year was like, since we made it for Gear VR, and I don't actually have the paid Android exporter for Unity, basically like I could only export it for Galaxy S7 phones, and you would also need a Bluetooth controller and a Gear VR headset to play it. So we just opted to not like put it on like itch.io or anything, because we were like, well, nobody can play this shit anyway. But this year we want to make something that like people can actually play, because that was like a little disappointing last year coming out of it and being like, okay, so how can we like put this online for people to play for free? And we were like, we can't. And even then, I think if I would have exported it, like for the phone I had, the way that I believe, I'm not an expert as to how Unity handles this, but since I don't have the paid Android exporter, I believe the file would expire after 30 days anyway. So let's go to set again. Sideswipe Prime says he has an S7, he could play it. So you need an S7, you need a specific Razer Bluetooth controller, and you need a Gear VR. And then I would need to like reopen the project files in the same version of Unity and shit, which I do not have handy anymore. What's the theme this year? Nobody gets to know the theme until I believe 5 p.m. on Friday or something like that. Maybe it's noon on Friday. That's the first day of the event. So right now it's still a secret. Very closely guarded secret. But I mean, it's more of a fun thing anyway. It's not really like, it's for fun, not for glory, you know? But anyway, yeah, it's gonna be Global Game Jam. I'm not gonna stream during that time because it's gonna be like busy all day the whole weekend, but I highly encourage you guys to try. It's fun. It's not about like making something amazing, it's just about like, I guess, the process of like trying to finish something, I suppose. It's a great learning experience, like as you're coming in on the last morning and you're like, okay, we have until 5 p.m. today, how much do we have to cut? And then you just start cutting everything and you figure out what the bare necessities are for your game. It's really, it's an enjoyable process. Yeah, Double Fine's Amnesia Fortnite is fucking dope as well. If you're curious about the idea of game jams, I definitely recommend checking that out. Let's go for a high closer. You might be able to do this, but it's gonna be because this game is busted. If you haven't played this game a lot, you may not be aware of this, but item use is very broken in this game. As you can see already, like, you have pretty much free use of items at any time you're on the ground, and it freezes time to use them. And there's no limits on your item use either, as long as you have items in your inventory. So you can just keep coming back to life as long as you've got items. I think I have quite a lot of items at this point, so it's hard to actually die, you know? I think there's one dungeon that completely disables item use, and that one's pretty tricky, but is your dream game you would want to make? I can't tell you. Can't just say it. There's a lot of stuff. I've worked on a lot of projects over the past few years that have not panned out for one reason or another, whether it be finance or staff or what have you. And it's tough. It's tough. It's easy to just give up and to just go, well, this is too hard, and I don't want to do that. So I'm not. But right now I'm definitely not working on what I would say is a Unity project. I feel like I've actually stepped back a lot, and I'm like trying to learn again rather than push forward. I think the game just did that weird freeze thing again. I don't know what that is. I noticed it on my screen too this time. I don't know that that was the game, because the monitor, my monitor went black for a few seconds.
Right. Nothing. Knocked. Appreciate it.
Nice, that fall damage. I'm still alive, jeez. Oh no, I'm not alive. Yeah, we might be able to bullshit this. That did so much fucking damage. This game does have situations too that, I mean, I think they... Oh shit! Because I was actually knocked out there, I guess that counts as a loss for this scenario, and they just force you out of it. Even though I used the Phoenix down to revive. Unless I ran out of time or something, and I didn't notice there was a time limit. But oh well. Yeah, it's doable, but you just gotta bullshit your way through it with items if you're not at an appropriate level, so... You know, it's a cool boss fight for sure. This is a much more elaborate expansion than the Terra Battle one. I think I prefer the scenario from the Terra Battle one. I mean, as someone who hasn't really played Terra Battle or FF14 for any significant amount, I really dug the boss battle at the end of the Terra Battle one, and I liked like the anime cut-ins and the environment you explored. I thought was more interesting as well, as opposed to just like a repurposed Empire garrison, which is, you know, it's fine, it's neat. I really do like how the boss fight was sick and had a dope summon introduced partway through. That's great. I think that was really cool. And I like this, where you can just refight and collect items and trade them in for shit. I think this is really fun. Yeah, I don't know. It's alright. It's free. Free's free. It's like, if you're playing through FF15, it's probably worth your time to step in here when you're at level 45 or something. Tally says there may have been a time limit. Most extreme fights have a hard lock on time before enrage auto loss. Someone also mentioned that the pillars all breaking might have been what did it there. The plumes break the pillars and then DPS check, yeah. Are you just running around to look at Noct's tail? No, I'm running around so you can look at Noct's tail. Why are you looking at Noct's tail? Do you want to touch it? I know I do. How do you feel about games that have limits on in-battle item usage? Like you have 99 potions but can only use 10 a battle. I think it's a good way to solve that problem. Because I love games like Earthbound and Undertale where you have like strict inventory size. Everything takes up space, but use as many items as you want, man. I love that. But that's not right for all games. Like games with more, I don't know, grand scopes, or I guess just different types of battle design don't really work with that all the time. So like in this game, it would be incredibly fucking tedious if you just had 30 slots. You know, you need to be able to hold like as many of each item as you want, basically, for it to really work. But I don't think there's anything wrong with putting an artificial hard limit and just saying you can't use more than 10 or 20. Like, depending on the context, it could be a little immersion breaking, I suppose. But if it's right for game balance, then I have a hard time arguing with that. Definitely a lot of situations in this game, though, where you end up bullshitting your way through stuff with items. T4 Silly says some Dragon Quests do that too, character inventory and then a bag. Right, and you get to transfer stuff, so the bag can hold tons of shit, but you can only use the character inventory in battle. I think Fire Emblem does it in a really fun way as well, where it's like hyper limited inventory. So that one's really enjoyable too. I wouldn't feel like super negative about it if this game did have an item use limit, but at the same time, I do feel like some of the really like late game absurd battles, especially like fighting Omega and stuff like that. If you haven't seen Omega, I guess feel free to look it up if you want. He's not like spoilery. It's like Omega from FF6, who makes like a non-canon appearance here, or maybe it's canon. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't take place in the story or anything. Feel free to look up that boss, but it's absolutely absurd. And if you couldn't use like a billion items, then you wouldn't beat that boss. Like, you wouldn't fucking beat that boss. I think I forgot to read this on the way in. Oversized refuse collection. Yeah, too much garbage. Too much big trash. Pariah says Breath of the Wild is super busted with its giant food inventory. Yeah, the ability to just pause and pop food items, yeah, it's also busted, yeah. I've seen some people express that they would have liked if you couldn't use items when enemies were like actively aggressive. I think that would have been an interesting change for Breath of the Wild. I thought it was fine the way it was, because like whatever, you know, anyone can beat the game, you know.
Oh, nice here.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, I don't think it's right for Zelda games, like, main, like, normal difficulty to be, like, so brutally unforgiving that, like, average Joes can't beat it, because it is Zelda, you know, it's not Dwarf Fortress, you know. At the same time, it would have been nice if the hard mode, master mode, or whatever it's called, I mean, it already has enough difficult things going on in it. It would have been nice if master mode had a sort of restriction like that, where you could only use items outside of battle, or like only use one at a time. What game was it? There was a game. Was it The World Ends With You? Might actually be thinking of I'm not thinking of The World Ends With You. I'm thinking of another game. Some RPG where their solution for it was a hunger meter, and whenever you used a food item, it would fill your hunger meter, and you know they'd also restore you in battle or whatever, and your hunger meter would lower a little bit every turn, or I guess it was more like your stomach fullness meter would lower a bit every turn, and also slowly outside of battle, so you could you couldn't use healing foods if you were full. You could use like potions and stuff, but food items, which are like a pretty large amount of your inventory, and fuck, what game was it, man? I really can't remember. Food was like restricted at that point. So it wasn't Metal Gear Survive, was it? I don't think it was. That did have a hunger meter. It didn't work quite that way. So whatever. Is it Mystery Dungeon? Oh, maybe it's Mystery Dungeon. Did the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games have that? Because maybe that's it. Shit, maybe that's exactly it. Man, I thought this was like a person's shadow because I wasn't scrutinizing it too much. This one next to Noctis here, and it's just that thing up there. It's not nearly as exciting as I thought. Anyway, if Breath of the Wild had something comparable where you had a belly meter, and you know, maybe no penalty for you being hungry, but you couldn't eat if it would exceed your belly meter, that would probably help too. So you could still chow down on a bunch of little items, like if you need to eat a bunch of apples or something, but you couldn't eat multiple feasts during a single battle, you know?
Temper.
I definitely think there are a lot of things you could tweak to make the food item system work a little better difficulty-wise in Breath of the Wild. Man, the reflections on this glass, am I the only one seeing this shit? Look at how good this is. The fucking lighting and effects in FF15 are bananas. Look at this. Look at this material here. Oh my god, look at that. I'm so enthralled by how quality that is. Okay, I think I'm gonna close this out here. We're gonna move on to Gungrave VR. How about the windows? Windows are like not bad in this. They're not Yakuza 0 level, but
What are you still
yeah,
doing
Price
here?
says, hey, Zelda being super duper easy is nothing new. That's certainly true. Oh, there's like an ending sequence too, not just warp out credits. Dope. Oh no, it's literally just warp out credits. But we get a cassette player. Is it gonna play like some of Venom Snake's cassettes? I hope it does. Okay, there is a little scene that's gonna play out here. In Cosmic Star Heroine, each character could take 4 items into battle and they had individual cooldowns. Yeah, that's cool. That works. That's very restrictive. But still, like, still a pretty broad choice of items. Yeah, this song's good. It's gonna play Noctis being announced for Smash. Oh my god. Man, could you imagine if, like, they wanted to put Noct in Smash, and so their method of doing that was putting out, like, a free DLC quest like this, where you couldn't really get much from the context of it until, like, the key moment, and then you realize, shit, he's going to Smash? That'd be fucking dope. That would totally fly in this game, too. Now that the Terra Battle and FF14 quests have shipped like this, it definitely bums me out a little bit that the Chocobo Festival, or the Moogle Chocobo Festival, whatever, the festival and the Assassin's Creed event are both still, like, locked out. If I'm not mistaken, there's no way to actually replay those events. On the PC version, there might be a mod that lets you get in. Someone might have hacked the planet and allowed that, but I believe on PS4 there's no way, and Xbox One there's no way to replay those events, and they were, like, timed. Which is a shame, now that we've got these 2 special events that you can play at any time. I mean, I think that definitely lends credence to the idea that these were made using the tools that they were planning on releasing for modders on PC, whereas the Moogle Chocobo Festival and the Assassin's Creed ones were not made with such, like, forward-facing tools. That's just speculation on my part, so not totally sure. Yeah, Chida Wolf says, I never got to play the Assassin's Creed event. Bummer. It's got some, like, neat bits, honestly. You know, just like all other FF14 content, like, it's got its weaknesses too. The boss at the end is nothing to write home about, but it's got alright bits. Noctis gets to do a leap of faith from a tower. And you get Assassin's Creed costumes, those were cool. She's just doing all the emotes. Just mash that emote. Oh, you can be Bayek now in Monster Hunter? That's cool. I like that. Oh man, the FF15 event in Assassin's Creed Origins was super tight as well. That was cool. Arden looked really cool in that event. No one tell him he keeps saying 14 and not 15. Man, since the beginning of the stream, I realized I was going to make that mistake a bunch. That's going to be the video description at this point. Please replace the incorrect one with the correct one in every given instance. Loki is the boss for the AC event, right? It's a guy in a mech. It might be that dude, but it's a guy in a mech. So, yes, this is indeed FF14 OST. Bunny Emperor. We're just wrapping up the FF14 event. Luminous Productions. I believe this is the first DLC where they're credited. No. It was at the end of the Terra Battle one as well, wasn't it? Yeah. What are numbers? I don't fucking know, man. They weren't designed to go past 10, I'll tell you what. Okay, that's it. Just kind of ends abruptly. Remember, the event did warn us going in that there's no saving or anything while you're in this event, just like the Terra Battle one. So I have to return to title. I can load back in real quick and just ensure that that costume's there. It should be. Just like the Terra Battle one, where I was like, oh no, we're not going to get to keep the sword, and then sure enough, you do. The Terra Battle sword was actually pretty cool. Initially, I was like, wait, this seems weak, but then I was like, hang on, no, against like demon enemies and stuff, it's really quite strong. So, how do you feel about Rondo of Blood compared to other classic Castlevanias? Played it the other day, and I think it's the worst classic style one I've played by far. I think the worst one by far is Castlevania The Adventure. I assume, though, you mean the worst of the good ones. My least favorite classic one, I think, is the original localization of Castlevania 2. Oh, you can just walk out the door you came in? Oh, Oh. Fuck. The Terra Battle one. Oh, the Terra Battle one forcibly kicks you back, doesn't it? Oh, well. Oh. It's fine. Doesn't matter. They probably said it at some point and I missed it because I was too busy talking about nothing. Well, that's our second to last FF15 stream, I think. Episode Arden Spring. We'll see how that goes. I hope that one's good, man. I feel like the DLC, like the major DLC things, kept getting better and better. So I do have high hopes for Arden. You know, even though the plans for FF15 are getting cut really short, I do kind of expect Arden to be pretty cool and good. And like a non-destroyed Insomnia, fuck yeah, I want to go there. Priya says, never played the Adventure, but I love the Adventure Rebirth. Yeah, Adventure Rebirth is really good. The original Adventure it may as well be a completely different game. Like, they call it the Adventure Rebirth because I guess narratively it replaces it, but in terms of like level design, it's totally different. The original Adventure on the Game Boy is abysmal. I highly recommend you play it if you're a Castlevania fan, because it's just so awful. My least favorite classic Castlevania, probably the original localization of Castlevania 2. Because it's a real struggle. Like, I've had a copy of it for like probably 15 years, and I've played it significantly on my NES, and like actually getting through it is absurd. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I do like Rondo quite a bit, but Rondo is very different, that's for sure. I've never been a big fan of Super Castlevania 4, to be honest, which is weird because everyone really likes that one. And Castlevania Chronicles on the PS1, I like 50% love it, and I like 50% hate it. So, yeah. Have I played this before? I have. Yeah, I've finished pretty much everything in FF15 as of today, I guess. So yeah, I've played it a little bit. It could be said. Yeah. Was it worth it? I don't know. Some aspects were worth it. Just got Hyrule Warriors for the Switch, and I think it's my new guilty pleasure. Yeah, it's my favorite Musou game. I was so hooked on it. Absolutely adored that game. Well, yeah, the FF15 trophies didn't even go to the top, it's true. Started playing A Way Out with my girlfriend, by the way. I think we're about halfway through. Really neat game so far. Not exactly what I was expecting, but I'm realizing as I'm playing it that my expectations were in the wrong place. Like, for some reason, looking at the aesthetic before I had played Brothers, because of course this game was announced and I still hadn't yet played Brothers, I kind of took from this aesthetic that there was going to be like, oh, there's going to be some fighting scenes where like you're beat 'em upping enemies, which if I would have played Brothers, I would have immediately knew that no, that's not Joseph Fares at all. That is totally not what this game would have. And now that I'm playing it, I'm like, no, but this is fucking cool, though. Like the sequence where one player is driving the truck when you're running away from the cops, and the other player in the back has a gun, firing at the cops. That was super fun. Really, really enjoyable local co-op game. Very highly recommend it, honestly. Yeah, Castlevania 4 is supposed to replace 1 narratively, right? T4 Silly? Like, that's the idea there. It's odd. 1 is so fucking good. 1 doesn't need fixing. The original Castlevania on the NES is a fucking masterclass. Didn't get the no-hit achievement in Quiet Man? I didn't. I thought about it for like all of 2 minutes, and I was like, this doesn't seem worth my time. And I Googled it to see if someone had like an easy solution to it. Like, hey, 1 weird trick to do this in the Quiet Man, and there was no 1 weird trick. And I was like, okay, how about I just don't then? Because am I trying to plat Quiet Man? No. We actually, for Quiet Man, we actually got all these trophies during the playthrough. Only missing this one, Win at Life, complete the game without being hit during gameplay. Everything else was gotten in regular play, and this was just for finishing it with the voices on. So, is Castlevania The Adventure 2 good? Yes, it's amazing. It's so good. Some of the best Castlevania music in the series as well. Crystal Castles is such a pumpin' song. I did a full LP of it on YouTube on Twitch. It's on my YouTube channel actually. That game is rad. So the third Castlevania Legends, the third Game Boy one, is a bit less good, but it's still cool. So, yeah. Thanks for the Bloodborne stream with Matt. It was great. Warmed my heart listening to you guys laugh and playing. Bloodborne's so good, man. Matt just asked me over to stream a game, and I was like, okay. And he's like, I want to stream something cool that people will find cool. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And I was like thinking of a title, and he said Bloodborne. And I was like, well, I guess we're streaming Bloodborne then, because nothing I say can be a better pick than Bloodborne. So we played Bloodborne. I've thought about just streaming Bloodborne, like, casually on this channel as well. Not right now, because like there's so many LPs I want to do and shit, but Bloodborne's just so fun to pick up and play. It's just so easy to get back into. Absolutely adore that game. How far will you go to get that trophy? Nowhere. And usually I like torture myself with trophies. Oh, I got a phone call from EB Games. You can't see that. I'm gonna hang up. Thanks, EB Games. I think that would be New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, I think. I don't know. Did you ever beat Neo? No, I never did finish it, actually. Yeah, anyway, sorry. Sometimes I go really far with, like, pushing myself to get trophies and, like, platinums and shit. Like, this Velocity 2X platinum was, like, pulling teeth, but even me, like, thinking about replaying The Quiet Man and not taking a hit. Ugh. The thing about not being hit during gameplay, right? The thing about that is I couldn't find anyone who knew the rules for how this worked online. So I've done trophies like this that have stipulations like don't get hit or whatever, where the reality is you can just, like, if you do get hit, you, like, quit and resume from last checkpoint, right? Nobody online who has made a forum post or posted anywhere has expressed any, or has offered any tips or information on this trophy at all. So I'd be doing it blind, like resetting every time I got hit, which would be a lot because The Quiet Man, I mean, it's easy to beat The Quiet Man, but it's hard to not get hit. It really is. So I'd be like resetting last checkpoint every time I got hit, not knowing if that would actually work. Can you skip cutscenes in The Quiet Man? I actually can't remember. Maybe I should just stream that process. Maybe we should just do that on stream. Maybe that's actually what we need to commit to for 2019. Get the win at life. Can I just say that it's fucking ironic that the hardest trophy for The Quiet Man, I just realized, is called Win at Life? Like, really? For The Quiet Man? Of all games, you're gonna call it that? Really? Yeah, 0.1% somehow got it. It rounds up, though, the percentage. So basically, if even one person got it, it rounds up, basically. So, yeah. The only reason I know it rounds up is because of, like, testing games before they come out at, like, you know, like when I worked at Eidos and stuff. Where, like, right before a game came out, like, it'd be 0% trophy earning, and then, like, you'd take 2 accounts and you'd be able to, like, really fuck with the percentages dramatically by just getting them on one account and on another account. So like, possibly dozens of people have this. I can check on, hang on, we can examine this on the whatever trophy website. The Quiet Man. I forget which fucking trophy site is it. Is it True Trophies? There's so many trophy sites, man. That's PSN Profiles. PSN Profiles. The Quiet Man. Let's go. Who's got this? 277 game owners on PSN Profiles. Win at life. 0.1%. No one on PSN Profiles of the 277 owners who are signed up to a trophy collecting website, 0 of them have it. Wowzers. Lot of, pretty much almost everyone has 71%, which is, how do they have 71%? That doesn't seem right. How did they get 71%? Oh, this is not. Oh, I see. So it's 71% because this DLC thing, the like play through the story with the voices on, is a separate entry. So 71% would be this. How's that work? I don't know. I have to scrutinize this site more. Not even trophy collectors want to play Quiet Man. Basically, right? Maybe that's something we have to do then. Maybe that's a big thing we have to commit to. I saw someone talking about Spider-Man DLC and how they felt like it's not worthwhile. Yeah. Wait, quick question actually. Hey Liam, Vita tech question. Is the PS button supposed to blink while it charges? On the Vita, the original, it should be orange while it's charging. I think on the Vita 2000 it should be I think the power LED on the top should be orange. I don't believe the PS button lights up on the 2000 model. So Punished Raccoon, right? He brought up the Marvel Spider-Man DLC, and man, like, not gonna talk trophies because it doesn't matter. Who cares? I finished 2 of them, as you can see. I also did the New Game Plus shit, which is whatever. It's just whatever. The heist was okay. It was like an okay start. I shouldn't go in there because maybe spoilers. So you and Black Cat do heist stuff. Nothing fancy. There's a really cool mission in there with Black Cat actually, where you kind of get to like give her commands. Like there'll be little Black Cat icons that appear above valid enemy targets, and if you hit the corresponding button, she'll like swoop in and take out that enemy super quick. And it's like actually pretty fun, that mission. There's some okay stuff. There's like a new side quest type where you use the spider bot. The spider bot was in the main game, but like as a side quest type, that was new. And it kind of ended on like I guess a cliffhanger. It wasn't like a huge cliffhanger or anything, but it basically ended with a to be continued. And you get to Turf Wars, the second one, and it doesn't feel like it's like the second act of a set. I kind of thought coming in it would be a 3-parter, like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, right? But Turf Wars feels like, you know, I mean, I assume there's a good amount of overlap, but it feels like the staff that made Turf Wars like only had the cliff notes for the story for the heist, because it doesn't, like, it kind of follows like Hammerhead or whatever his name is. Is that his name? Spoilers, yeah. Hammerhead is like the villain in the heist as well, and like it kind of follows, and Hammerhead continues to be the villain, but like they don't pick up on Black Cat. Like the cliffhanger from the first one is just gone, just not touched at all. And then Silver Lining, I assume, will continue on with Hammerhead. Spoilers, except you're working with Silver Sable or whatever her name is. I hear it's comparable to the heist in quality. Conlon Plays says he feels that Silver Lining is better than the heist. Generally, I had heard everyone felt Turf Wars was the weakest. And although I haven't played Silver Lining, I do agree that Turf Wars was weaker than the heist for sure. So I'm hoping Silver Lining wraps up Hammerhead, so we can at least have like one plot idea wrapped up. But also there's a side quest character named Screwball, who was, I believe, in the main game. I think a little bit. I think so. Anyway, it doesn't matter. She's definitely in the heist and Turf Wars, and will be in Silver Lining as well. And I just never really got into Screwball. This young character who's like basically like a streamer, YouTuber. Okay, yeah, she briefly was in the main game. Yeah. So she's like a streamer, YouTuber who like wants to get mad clicks, like, comment, subscribe, and so she like sets up these awful challenges for Spider-Man and like kidnaps someone, and like if he doesn't do the challenges, like she threatens to kill the person. And like that narrative is fine, but I just find her so annoying. Like, I don't like her dialogue very much. It's a lot of like internet slang stuff, I guess, and it just doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't really click with me. Logan Paul, no, there aren't actually any dead people in the videos, so not like Logan Paul, no. But yeah, I know Screwball's like a more recent Marvel character, I think. I don't really know the exact history, but so I admire like taking this character and like trying to do something fresh with her, but it didn't really hit me. Okay, so yeah, Screwball's first appearance was Amazing Spider-Man 559, July 2008. Wow, one of her old designs is really nice, actually. I don't really like her like helmet design that she has in this. There's this design on, if you Google Screwball, like Screwball Marvel is what I searched for. The first picture of her, she has these like two big flowing pigtails and it looks great. I'm like, whoa, that design's dope. In the actual game, she's got this helmet on, these helmet and goggles, and I'm really not into it. Damn, I want that design. Anyway, I'm really not feeling Screwball. And she's like 40%, 30% of the side quests in these are Screwball. Probably more like 40%, honestly. They're not great. And it's a shame because in the base game, I will not spoil it, but there's a character who gives you comparable quests as well. And that character and that series of events with that character, although gameplay-wise it's very similar to the Screwball missions, narratively it is so much more compelling when you realize immediately which character that is. Fuck, what a thrilling character. And like Screwball, I don't know, I haven't finished Silver Lining. I don't know if you'll get to fight her or catch her or whatever. But in the base game, you get to fight / catch this guy I'm alluding to cryptically. And it's so satisfying. So, yeah, no, I agree. That person coming back wouldn't make sense. Like, that person is dealt with for the time being in the base game. But, yeah. Punished Raccoon says, in regards to the Spider-Man DLC, I see where they were going, but I really wish it was more like a comic in terms of a closed story, like maybe had a DLC about teaching Miles. Yeah, I agree. I just the idea of like a smaller story in 3 episodes is basically what you're saying, I think. And yeah, I totally agree with that. Even if like, obviously they were much more limited in what they could do, you know, because duh. I do feel like there was a better narrative to be told across the 3, you know. I think there's only like 3, look away from the screen if you don't want spoilers. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think there are only 3 main quests in each of them. Again, I haven't finished Silver Lining. So like 9 total. I think the base game had like 20 main quests. So you've got like less than half that time to work with, and definitely way less budget to work with, but I feel like the gameplay is not the issue with the DLC, and like the content's not the issue with the DLC, but the narrative really is. Because it's all gameplay stuff that was fun in the base game and continues to be fun on its like gameplay merits in the DLC, but narratively it's just so uninteresting. And like Hammerhead, admittedly, I think he did get a little more compelling in the 2nd episode. But, like, again, Black Cat, like, had a whole thing, and then she just kind of disappeared. I don't know, maybe she'll come back in the 3rd one? I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, but, like, just nothing's going on narratively. Turf Wars, God, it's, like, I guess it's spoilers, but it's not really spoilers, because nothing happens. Turf Wars, it's basically just, like, mafia dons and like gangs, the story. So like you start the story and it's like, oh, Hammerhead's guys are gonna take out the mafia and they've got all these cool weapons that Silver Sable left in the city. Yeah, so I better go protect the mafia dons, because if they get taken out there'll be a big power vacuum. And then you go to protect them and they've already been taken. And then you go to the last mission and they're like filling a pit with them in it with concrete or cement, and you gotta like stop them from getting cemented in, and then you fight Hammerhead, and that's the DLC. That's the whole story of the DLC, in like 2 sentences or 1 very long run-on sentence. It's very, very nothing, and it's a bummer because again, like they're fun to play. It's fun to fight shit. It's fun to swing around, but yeah, I'll definitely talk about this more in like the little Game of the Year videos I'm going to put together when I get to the PS4 one, because, you know, spoilers, Marvel Spider-Man is going to be in that video. Marvel Spider-Man is so rote, and it's so by the numbers in how you just like explore the world. Wow, there was like a minor spoiler on screen there for a second. So it's so rote in how you explore the world. Okay, there we go. We're good. That just froze up again for a second. I don't know what happened there. Oh well. It's so rote in how you explore the world and interact with the world and what you do. And its real strength is like the minute-to-minute gameplay. Just swinging around the world and fighting enemies is really, really satisfying. And if it weren't for that, I think the game would be like profoundly middling. And honestly, I've heard from some people who have found the game middling, where they were just like, yeah, I wasn't really into the combat, or I wasn't really into the exploration or whatever. And I get that. Like, I really get that. So the DLC is basically only going on the strengths of the gameplay. Because the main game, surprisingly, has like some decent narrative punches. I was really surprised, actually. I thought that the main game was going to have like a super tame story. And it's still like mainstream comic book story, so it's not like absolutely bonkers off the walls, but it had some like good little twists in it. It was satisfying, and unfortunately losing that is a big blow. New costume thoughts? The silver armor costume that you get. Hang on, I should actually open up I should actually just get this on the screen now at this point if I'm talking about this shit. Here, GameSpot has a great article for this. Please work. Screen capture, monitor capture, desktop 1. There we go. Looks great. Yeah, new costumes. Yeah, I definitely will reboot everything before Gungrave VR if these black screens keep happening, because that shouldn't be happening. Okay. So they added a Raimi suit, right, which is just available for everyone. Shit, this is not at all big enough. Whatever, good enough. I'm not working on this. They added a Raimi suit, which is great, and it looks just as good as the Raimi suit did. Wow, zooming in on this site doesn't work. The first DLC had these boys. I always liked the idea of Spider UK, but I always felt like the bottom half was just too naked. There's just nothing going on the bottom half. It's just blue. The other two, I'm just like, whatever. You're fine. Resilient suit's cool, I guess. Scarlet Spider 2, I don't know. Second DLC, though. Spider Armor Mark 1 is fucking tight. This guy, it doesn't really show in this picture, unfortunately. This is a very unflattering shot of Spider Armor. But all this, like, checked, like, metal here, it's actually silver in the game. I don't know why it's black in this picture, because it's silver in the game, if I remember right. It shines really nicely, actually. The material's great. Iron Spider armor, which, you know, it's Iron Spider, whatever. I had the Avengers Iron Spider armor from like pre-order DLC or whatever it was. So for me, this was like, I mean, it's a different armor, but I already had the Avengers one, so I'm like, whatever. But then there's this Spider Clan with all of its like dope shaders it's got. This is a beautiful costume in motion. I was actually using it for a little while, even though it's like goofy looking. Yeah, like I'm not going to use it to play through the story of Silver Lining, but it looks so good. I'm not going to explicitly spoil it, but in the base game, there's another costume that's like this, in that like artistically it's a very different style, and it's like using its own unique shaders. And it also looks great. I think this looks so good in motion. And I think this design looks goofy as fuck, and when I first saw it, I was like, nah, forget that. But in motion, it's actually really gorgeous looking. I was so impressed with it. Other ones, I haven't actually really looked at these. I think I saw them when they were announced, but there's no more after that. Oh yeah, because then it's just back to the regular suits. Oh, noir suit's cool. Yeah, so Into the Spider-Verse suit. That is certainly what Peter Parker wears in Into the Spider-Verse. That is dead on. It's not the most thrilling outfit. I don't think it was ever designed to be the most thrilling outfit. So, no problems there, but at the same time, not too exciting. Cyborg Spider-Man, I don't know what the deal is here, besides I assume this arm is cybernetic and possibly the eye. It's cool. I feel like there's a comic that goes with this that makes this really satisfying. But for me, I'm just looking at this and I'm like, That's cool, but I don't know what the deal is at all. I don't know if I ever want to wear that. And Aaron Aikman. I'm not actually familiar with Aaron Aikman's spider suit. Aaron Aikman suit. Oh wow, the next Google under that was death. Oh fuck, this is the Marvel. Oh, this is the game wiki. That's not confusing. Earth 31411. Aaron Aikman, Spider-Man, was a scientist working for the Ikigami Medical Center, specializing in the medical application of insect venoms. Ooh, wonder how he got a spider to bite him. When he was 24, he underwent an experimental treatment that resequences DNA with that of a genetically altered spider, so no bite. Superhuman abilities, yada yada, Spider-Man. Okay, cool. Good for him. Good for you, Aaron. You got a good job and you got this badass suit. It's actually really cool. Makes me think of Mega Man a little with the feet and the shin guards. Are they boots? Maybe they're boots. Maybe they're built into the legs. I can't tell. It's actually pretty cool though. Now that I'm looking at it more. Yeah, I don't know. This is my 45-minute review of Spider-Man costumes. Guess what? They're great. The art team was super killer in this game. When's the Jonas Traveler DLC? Well, that sounds interesting. I don't even know what that means, but that sounds interesting. Jonas Traveler, huh? When's the costume where Spider-Man is just a suit full of thousands of spiders? I think I actually know that one. That is Spiders Man, right? I saw that posted on Twitter a few months ago, where there's a bunch of spiders in a Spider-Man suit who, I can't remember, do they think they're Spider-Man or are they just pretending to be Spider-Man? But it's actually thousands of spiders in a suit. So, and that's fucking tight. Oh, the Aaron Aikman costume has rocket boots? Okay, that's why it looks very Mega Man then. Okay, they think they're Peter Parker. Thank you. Good shit. What are you currently doing in your own time that you enjoy? Hey, that's a good question. A Way Out, me and my girlfriend are playing that. 2% trophy completion is not really demonstrative of how far we are. We're apparently like 60% of the way through the game. Just a lot of them are missable. Just like Brothers, like the trophies are all like, do this thing in this area, and you can just not. So, slowly playing through Darksiders 3. I'm like very, very close to the end. Really good. Really love that. Otherwise, not much in here. Like Speed Brawl and Killzone, like I was playing those like a month ago or something. So I've been catching up on. So the solo A Way Out stream is canned then, huh? Okay, real talk then. I'll talk about that super quick before I get back to the last question. I had talked about how I was gonna do like a solo A Way Out just for shits, and how that would be fun. I got a couple of messages from people that were like really genuine sounding, and one of them was pretty long, and they were like, please play this with a friend of yours or someone close to you. It's not like, it sounds hilarious playing it with 2 controllers, and it'll be a real struggle, but he was like, this game is worth playing with someone else, because like he said the impact isn't going to be the same if you play it a second time. So I kind of took those messages to heart and said, you know what, like, as much as I want to be a goof, like the schedule's already full anyway, so I'm just going to play with my girlfriend and take it seriously. So being a goof is fun. I do that a lot, but probably the right choice there. Otherwise, yeah, I've been catching up on games for the like Game of the Year style video. Some games I've kind of determined I'm just not going to have enough time to seriously address. Like one that bums me out is Punchline. Although I've had like significant time to actually play it, I haven't actually been able to put a lot of time in. So, you know, even some games that I do care about, it's like I haven't been able to play you enough, so I don't actually know, and I've got to like get doing them now, and I got a lot of catch up to do. So, so I've been finishing up some Switch stuff as well. Been playing the B tracks and Celeste a little bit as part of my like revisiting titles from earlier this year, and that's tough. I hear there's C-sides rather, B-sides and C-sides. Yeah, not tracks, sides. And those are fucking hard. So never gonna finish those. The format for the Game of the Year video, by the way, I don't really mind talking about it because it doesn't really matter. Last year, like, last year, I'm not shy about the fact that my Game of the Year, like, stream thing was, like, hyper impromptu and rushed and not good quality and shitty. And it kind of just followed the generic, like, award show format. And I think that the only fun thing about it was, like, let's talk about this with the chat. Let's talk about the process of, like, filling the list with the chat. I thought that was kind of fun, but I felt like it was a good live experience, but the end product wasn't really one I was, like, super happy with. Like, it was fun in real time, like a panel at a convention, you know? But I kind of decided I wanted to try doing something different this year. So I'm gonna do a different, like, I'm calling them, like, Game of the Year style videos colloquially, because I don't really have a hard name for them yet. I'm gonna do one for each major platform, and I'm gonna have to ball some together. Like, I'm gonna do Switch, I'm gonna do PS4, I'm gonna do PSVR as their own videos. But then, like, I'm gonna put, like, Xbox One and 3DS and Vita in their own shared video, because, like, there were not enough significant games that I played on those platforms, a significant amount of, for me to really talk about. So it's more of like a, like, what did I play enough to talk about in 2018 video, which is nowhere near as, like, fun sounding. But I guess what I mean by that is, like, it's not necessarily made with the endeavor to, like, rank 10 games in a list from best to worst. It's more about, like, here's everything I played and I liked or strongly disliked and what I have to say about them. So, like, for example, like, The Quiet Man is definitely in the PS4 video, not because it's good, but because I have stuff to say about it. And while there's definitely not going to be, like, a process of, like, let me organize these games from best to worst, I do think I'm going to have some, like, little, I don't know, like, badge style things that I'm going to tack on to the side of each one. So, like, hey, because a lot of people ask me what I think about a lot of games throughout the year, and I'm always happy to answer, like, one-on-one, but this is definitely gonna, I think, be a good format for, like, answering some of those questions on a bit of a wider scale. So, for example, like, for a game like Spider-Man, I'll probably shove a little badge on it that says, hey, and I'll explain what all these badges are before anything, of course. Like, hey, if you buy this game, good chance you'll enjoy it. Like, the wide recommendation badge, I call it. That is to say, I'd recommend it to just about everyone, you know? Or, like, on Smash Bros. Ultimate, like, the value badge. Like, hey, to you, does value in a game matter? You know, are you maybe in a financial situation where value matters, or you just don't like spending a lot of money on your games? Like, this was a game with, like, remarkably good value. So, like, that would be stuff like Smash Bros. Ultimate, or God, why am I, like, suddenly drawing a blank? Or, like, Octopath Traveler, or, like, The Messenger, and a couple other things like that, you know. And I definitely want to talk about, like, problems with games as well. Like, for example, The Missing. I love The Missing, Swery's game. But it's got gameplay problems. It's got, like, some pretty meaningful gameplay problems that I'd like to just, you know, talk about. So I guess I want to, I don't know. I think it's more of a, I guess, like, year in review format, but really only the stuff that I really, like, touched. As for, like, re-releases, I see T4 Silly saying Hyrule Warriors. So I played Hyrule Warriors, of course, on the Wii U and then on the 3DS. So, like, I'm not sure if I'm going to put re-releases in the video. But at the same time, I'm looking at The World Ends With You Final Remix, and I'm like, well, what the fuck? Well, what the fuck am I doing? You know, like, am I supposed to not include that? So I'm gonna go case by case, you know? So we're not getting badges. No, you're not getting badges. The games are getting badges. You can buy pins, though. But yeah, so, I don't know. It should be a fun series. I'm planning on doing the Switch one first. And I've recorded a bunch of gameplay footage for it, but I haven't, like, started writing, like, script and stuff yet specifically. Forget editing the video, but it should happen pretty quick when I get going. I'm going to do the Switch one first because I'm the most caught up on Switch stuff. And then PS4 or PSVR second, but I don't know which yet. PSVR, I'm also very caught up on stuff. Like, there's a few games I just haven't touched that I really want to give some time, like In Death. Apparently really fun. Haven't played it. So a couple that I'm just sitting on there. I think the Switch one I'll definitely have out in January. Yeah, that was one of the other things also. I really wanted to do January 1st to December 31st. I get it for like awards shows like the Game Awards. Like, you don't want to hold them in January. You want to hold them in fall. You want to hold them right before the holiday season. Like, that just makes sense, honestly. So I understand that for like the Game Awards, they go from like, I believe October to October is their rule. So October 15th to October 14th the next year, I think, is the deadline for like game releases. So anything that comes out after that can't be nominated for the Game Awards. Like, what's a game that came out after that? Well, it wouldn't have been nominated, but like Fallout 76, for example, would have been past the date. I think that makes sense, but for me, I really wanted to do January to December. So it's like, it is going to come out a little bit later than most, I think. But hopefully I can get the Switch episode at least up this month at some point. I'm like legit pretty fucking swamped this month. So doing a lot of catch up after like being away for the holidays for like 11 days. I had a blast just being out in the countryside with my family. And like recording all the Quiet Man was really smart. Because last year when I went away, I wasn't able to stay away for super long because I was like, I need to get back to streaming or else I'm not going to be able to pay for rent, you know? This year, having all the Quiet Man, like 6 episodes of that ready to go, like let me stay away for a while. But now I'm getting back and I'm like, oof, I'm behind on like a lot of shit that I put off. So, you know, that's just life though. So Xenoblade 2 got snubbed last year due to its release date. Yeah, no, for sure. Xenoblade 2 was in a, you know, I mean, it came out in December, you know, that's, it's rough. Was it an RPG nomination this year? I can't remember, actually. I honestly forget. I think it wasn't for the Game Awards. Yeah, Xenoblade 2 did have really, really bad timing though in regards to like awards season shit, you know? Like the thing that doesn't matter. Like nobody's making games to win awards, you know, so. Esports. Oh no, I should really just search for Octopath. That'll make this quicker. That's an art direction. Role-playing game. Dragon Quest XI, Monster Hunter World, Ni no Kuni 2, Octopath Traveler, Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire. So yeah, it wasn't even nominated this year. Those are all good nominations. I could honestly see people enjoying those games more than Xenoblade 2. I liked Xenoblade 2 better than Ni no Kuni. Ni no Kuni and Octopath Traveler, to be honest, but Xenoblade 2 is so fucking flawed. It's fucking absurd, man. Like, it got better. It got a lot better. But, like, the amount of time you waste in that game. I was thinking about... I think about making a lot of videos that I don't make. And, like, way before all the patches came out for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I was thinking about making a little video on how aggressively Xenoblade 2 wastes your time. And, like, I'm not usually one who, like, comes out with these strong stances, but, like, Xenoblade 2 really wasted the player's time in its original incarnation. Like having to watch summon animations every single time, having to like waste like 5 to 10 seconds every time you want to like dig up some plants. Take care, Shada Wolf, have a good one. The way the map is just rough, or was especially rough to navigate early on, but has gotten better, fortunately. You lost a lot of time on that. There were just so many things in Xenoblade 2 that just did not respect your time. And some of it has improved, definitely, but some of it is still awful. Like, again, like, I wanna pick these plants out of the ground. Okay, well, we're gonna go through all your characters who have an agriculture skill, and we're gonna flash them on the screen one by one. and they're gonna like say a line, and then those plants can pop out of the ground and you can pick them up. Like fuck. Or like when there's a skill check, so you get to say a spot where you need fire. You need fire element level of a certain tier, right? And say you've got like 2 fire element people equipped, and you go up to it, and it goes, hey, okay, so you've got 3 with this character, and they say a line. You've got 2 with this character, they say a line, and then it says you failed because you don't have 7. And you've wasted like 15 seconds staring at this failure state, and it fucking sucks. And like, it would be dope if you could see the conditions before you clicked on it. Really, like, I like the concept there. And the presentation of it is very nice, how the character skills pop up. It is actually really nice to look at. But like, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that through the like 80-hour story, you probably interact with like 1,000 of these things, if not more. And that just adds up so much. It's one thing if you're only doing like 20, 30 of these throughout the game, but you do like at least a fucking 1,000 of them. And if we're conservative and just say they take 10 seconds a pop, that's like 10,000 seconds just wasted. That's a lot. That's like an absurd amount. Let me do some division. 166 minutes. So 2.7 hours. Like, just absolutely wasted by this kind of shit. The worst is that even if you have the requirements, it fails you if you don't have them equipped. Yes, right? I understand the idea that like they want to restrict how many you can equip so that you can't just have like 10 level 1s and get through like a level 10 gate. You know, they want you to have powerful ones. Basically the idea is like, if they're not in your active party, which is 3 blades max, or well, 3, I don't remember if it included your partners, so 9 blades max, but whatever. If they're not in your active party, they don't contribute to like skill gates. So you need to make sure they're in your active party, and that's like also a pain in the neck too. I agree. So even if you have the requisite blades, if you don't actually go into your menu and equip them, you fail. Then you got to go into your menu and equip them, which is slow. Then there's the trees, the skill trees or whatever they're called, where like every time you would power them up by like completing a condition for a skill tree thing, it would flash, hey, you did it, and they would say a voice line. Now I think you can skip the voice line after patches, but originally you couldn't. And some of these voice lines were like 4 or 5 seconds long. And again, like, you see like 1,000 of these motherfuckers in the game. These happen all the time. And then there's like the blade quests where you send mercenary troops out to do like their own little timer-based quests. And when they get back, you have to like watch through all their stat gains. And this is all regular RPG stuff, but just the amount of little instances of your time being wasted. I remember like mathing it out a little bit back, like when Xenoblade 2 had came out. I was very convinced that if you took like 80 hours to beat the game, probably 10 hours of that was just little systems like this eating up your time, because it's absurd. And summoning blades too. I think the process was like almost a minute long, right, to summon a blade? And you couldn't skip the sequence. You had to watch the whole thing. And it was cool when you pulled a new blade, but when you didn't, it was like the biggest waste of time. Now you can summon and skip the sequence entirely. So if you get a new blade, you unfortunately skip the cool animation. You can rewatch it like from the video gallery, but you do lose that cool moment, but you can skip the animation now, fortunately. So, I don't know. Strawberry Pantsu says he made the mistake of beating Torna before the main game. Oof. I definitely think, although you can play Torna standalone, I definitely think it's better played after the main game. So yeah, Xenoblade 2, I don't know. It's like really, really flawed. I really enjoyed it. I finished it. I thought the main story was really fun and satisfying. It had amazing end of chapter sequences and awesome cutscenes. Really, really pumping music too by Ace Team, I think, did the soundtrack. But boy, I do feel like a significant amount of time I spent in that game was just wasted. And again, not like on grinding or anything like that, but just looking at like things flashing and character lines acknowledging that I've leveled something up or that I've picked plants or shit like that. So people who did the soundtrack, Ace and Kenji Hiramatsu, Phoenix Seraph says. They're fucking awesome. They did a good job. Without spoiling, did you like how it connected to the first game though? Yeah, didn't expect that. I really didn't expect that. That was neat. You'd be very lost if you didn't know what kind of happens at the end of the first game. But very neat. So yeah, I haven't played the DLC yet because the DLC was already, like, I played a lot at launch and then I dropped the game and then I picked it up because Torna was coming out and I wanted to finish. No, because Octopath was coming out and I wanted to finish it before Octopath because I knew if I let Octopath come out without finishing Xenoblade 2, I would never go back to Xenoblade 2. I would just be on Octopath. So I rushed it from like halfway through the game to the end, right before Octopath came out. I didn't play the DLC as a result, and I just jumped straight to Torna. And I did Torna actually all the way through, and I did two of the secret bosses. I think 2. I didn't do all of them because they're absurd. But I haven't done like the regular DLCs for Xenoblade 2. I hear they're alright, but I don't know. So, you know. Yeah, I definitely think some of the overt anime stuff hurt the story as well. Phoenix Seraph, I agree. It's like, I mean, it's the most blatantly anime one. Something I really like about the Xenoblade series thus far is they're all really different. I've seen people express that they'd like, you know, they'd rather use the style for 2 going forward, or they'd rather the original style going forward, or what have you. Personally, I'd love to see how much they can keep experimenting with the style. Because even if the games look very different, I think they all look fantastic, Chronicles X included. And they're also varied too. I find it really fun actually, so I hope they can continue mixing it up. Dimsta 3000 says, is the 3DS version of Xenoblade worth getting? Yeah, definitely. It's really good. If you've got, I'm not sure, that game might only play on the 3DS XL. Sorry, new 3DS rather, not 3DS XL. I can't remember if it was one of those games that forced you to use a new 3DS. I think it was. Yeah, it was. Okay. So, okay, I think what I watched a video on YouTube where someone throttled the new 3DS down to the base 3DS specs to see what Xenoblade would look like. And it looked really rough. So yes, it is only on new 3DS though. So if you do have a new 3DS, then yeah, it is a good time. I've only like touched it a little bit, that version. I don't even own it myself. I just played a friend's copy real quick and it seemed really, really nice. So the original Wii version is still good as well too. I mean, it's, you know, not as easy to get. It emulates beautifully though. In Dolphin, I believe there's even an HD texture replacement pack that people made for the first game, and it looks really, really sharp if you like ratchet up your settings in Dolphin. So Chronicles X is really cool too. I love the aesthetic in Chronicles X, and the music, like, I adore the music. I know it's a bit basic, but like, I love it. That game's basic yet still a slay. And I've barely fucking played that game. Just aesthetically it hits me so hard. But I probably haven't played more than 20 something hours, so. Liam, how are you? I never really catch your streams. I'm doing all right. You know, life's not perfect. Nobody's life is, but it's all right. I'm happy enough. I live with my wonderful girlfriend, and that keeps me happy. And we watch awful movies all the time. And also, we watch this cooking show on Netflix called Zumbo's Just Desserts. If you like cooking shows, and specifically like dessert shows, this show has like the worst name. Zumbo's Just Desserts. I hate the name. ZUMBO. And like, I saw the picture of the guy and I'm like, yeah, this is not the cooking show for me. And then I actually watched the show and I was like, holy shit, that's a strong ass show. Let me show you real quick. Let me open up JPEG. The premise of this show, it's Australian, right? Oh, you saw me tweeting about it. Yeah, go see it. Premise of this show, it's Australian. Zumbo is this wildly professional chef. He's ridiculous. He's so fucking good. Shit, where's this picture? He's insane. He's so good at chefing. It's completely remarkable. They invite in a bunch of amateur chefs who are not professional chefs. They don't work in restaurants. They're amateur chefs, but they're insanely good at what they do. They're very, very talented chefs. And they have a theme for the episode, a dessert theme, of course. And they say, okay, you got to make something that fits this theme. This is Zumbo, this guy. He looks really creepy in this shot, but he's not usually that creepy looking when he's not in this specific pose. He's like a Xehanort, isn't he? So they have a theme, like romance was one of them. One of the other ones was like a kid's birthday party cake, right? And they have to make a big, elaborate dessert. And all the desserts that come out of this show are amazing. They're amateur chefs, but they are ridiculously good. These guys could all be pros, like absolutely all pros. They're fucking ridiculous. And then at the end of the episode, or I guess it's more towards the back half of the episode, they take the two dishes they liked the least, and they have the chefs who made those enter the Zumbo test. And so the premise of this test is he has made a dessert that is insane. And the people get to see this dessert and get to acknowledge that this insane dessert exists. And then they have to replicate it. And they get the ingredients, they get the recipe, and they just have to make it as well as they possibly can. But he's such an absurdly good chef that actually replicating these things on your first go within 3 hours of time is fucking insane, right? Let me pop out a picture of one of the desserts that was on a Zumbo test. I can't even find a picture of the inside of this cake, so you're just gonna have to imagine the inside, but it was amazing. And all the chefs were looking at this and they were like, what the fuck? How do we cook that? Look at this thing. This was like a 4-layer like cake thing on the inside, but like the layers were like an egg, right, with like a yolk and then the white, and then as opposed to like layered on top. And it was like yay big. It was like rather large. And one of the conditions for this was it had to be reflective. Like he wanted to see his face in it. And as you can see, even in this photo, you can see that it's reflective. Like, I'm telling you, the desserts they have to make in this show are fucking ridiculous. And they have the recipe, they have the instructions, they have all the ingredients, and they definitely have the skill. But making these on your first go, without ever having like a practice go for them, insane. It's so satisfying to watch. Zumbo's just desserts. If you're into cooking shows at all, especially ones that might be like dessert focused, super recommend it. Is that leaf fondant? I sure hope not. Fondant is fucking evil. Fondant sucks, man. I hate fondant. What an overrated like dessert ingredient. Just came back. What show is this? Zumbo's Just Desserts. So cool. So I'm between jobs talking about a show called Sweet Genius in the chat. He says, Sweet Genius makes chefs try to cook to evoke a theme or emotion, like summertime or carnivals. I've heard about that show. It seems like it has a really similar premise, to be honest, except for the Australian bit. I've never seen it though, so I don't totally know. Resting Bones says, I like cooking, but I actually never cared for baking. There's a fair amount of baking in this show, but there's also like a fair amount of non-baking. They make a lot of like non-baked desserts as well, which is nifty. So yeah. I also really like cooking and subsequently never cared for baking. I don't know what it is. Meanwhile, my girlfriend really likes baking. And like, I think she likes cooking. She's getting better. She's getting better at cooking. She's getting there. Bless her, I love her. But she likes baking a lot, so she's decent at baking too. So, have you seen the show The Final Table? I've only seen that it exists. Heard it was good, but I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know. Oh yeah, Sweet Genius has a host named Ron Ben Israel, and he's known as one of the best cake bakers. He's super eccentric and goofy. Good. Man, nothing ruins like a cooking competition show. Oh wow, this guy looks so eccentric. Holy shit. Ron Ben Israel. I'm not gonna put a picture up. Nothing ruins a good cooking show like a bad host. Honestly, having a middling host just fucking sucks. So, yeah. Xenomonas says, I think in baking it's a lot easier to make non-fixable mistakes than in cooking. Yeah, I think so too. As someone who's not experienced in baking, this might be a naive thing to say, and I might be totally wrong to an expert baker. But as far as I can see, like, you know, you make your batter or your dough or what have you, and then you apply it to whatever surface it needs to be applied, and you pop it in the oven at the right temperature for the right amount of time. And if it sciences out right, then you got a great baked thing. But it's hard to really fix anything on the fly, right? Like you're just too... There's nothing you can really do to fix stuff partway through baking. Like outside of like adjusting the other ingredients around it, after the fact, you're kind of locked in. So yeah, whereas cooking, you can make adjustments on the fly like crazy. I'm making a stew. It's too salty. I can do a million things to fix this. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I never really got huge into baking. It seems fun, but I haven't found the recipe that's really made me go like, yeah. I've thought about making profiteroles though, because I like profiteroles. And in an episode of Zumbos, they did, there was a profiterole thing. They had to make this cake out of profiteroles that was like 4 feet tall. It's fucking ridiculous, like 100 profiteroles. That made me go like, hey, profiteroles don't look so hard to make. Definitely like any baked good though, like follow the instructions really carefully or else you're fucked. So I also, I don't know how to pipe like custard or icing or anything. So that's the bit of profiteroles I'm not too sure about, but that seems like a fun thing to do anyway. So yeah. Want to make cinnamon bread? Do the bread instructions and add cinnamon and sugar. Want to make strawberry cake? Do the cake instructions and add strawberry stuff. Yeah, there's definitely like easy stuff like that makes sense to me for sure. Just make bread and add cheese to it. Look, it's a better bread. You did it. Good bread. When are we streaming Panty Party? I saw that game was announced for the Switch the other day. That's already out on Steam, right? Because I remember seeing a trailer for it like a year ago or something. I have no plans to play it. Never did. Probably never will. So, but I saw it. Yeah. Okay, we should probably eventually play Gungrave VR because I feel like I've been talking about garbage for like just as long as we played FF15, if not longer. Gonna Google one last thing. See if I can find a quick picture of it. I'm trying to find that profiterole tower from the Zumbo test. Oh yeah, here it is. Oh yeah. Look at this fucking thing. This is a very small picture. I'll blow it up, but it might be blurry. Media file. Look at this. This was the dessert that they had to replicate. The people who lost the challenge had to replicate. So it's profiteroles that are like caramelized together, and then these are like they're like hard candy hearts that are like they had to be transparent was one of the things. And from this angle, it just looks like they're flat hearts. But what they actually are, if you turn them sideways, is they're like a sandwich. There's a hard heart, and then a layer of profiteroles all inside the heart, like around the edge, attaching it to the other side of the heart. So they're actually like these thick, like hard profiterole sandwiches on there, attached to each other. It's fucking nuts. They had 3 hours to make this, like, on their first go. Absolutely fucked. It was so fun. One of the girls, it's mad spoilers, one of the girls who made a tower, like this heart tower thing during that episode, she killed it, by the way. She did phenomenal. But like, her hearts hardened to the base crooked. So they were like, I need visual demonstrators. So the first heart, and so instead of the two hearts just standing up straight on top of each other, the first one was like leaning back quite a bit. And then the second one on top, she like meant to lean it back to counterbalance, but it ended up hardening, leaning even further over. And like, shit was leaning over to such a degree that everyone in the room, including myself, was completely convinced that it was going to fall over, and somehow it didn't. It was amazing. It was a gravity-defying feat. The next episode, sure enough, was actually about making a dessert that defies gravity as the condition. And like the cake that he showed for it was like, it was like these 4 cakes that were like attached to each other at these wild angles, and you're like, how is that not falling over? How is that not falling over? Did you cast gravity on the cake? What's the deal here? What's the... Answer me, Zumbo. Tell me how this works. Okay, I gotta switch over to Gungrave for real though. You're all installed and shit. I'm gonna take down the stream and restart shit because we were getting a few weird hangs where like, I don't think it was the PS4 because my monitor was actually going black. I think it was actually probably the Elgato causing those hangs. I don't know why. So I'm going to restart everything real quick, and then we'll be back on with Gungrave VR, including taking the stream down and stuff. So I'm going to take a break too, and we'll be back on in maybe 15, 20 minutes. Not 100% sure, but I will see you guys again shortly. For any of you guys who are leaving after this, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate it. I will see you another time. That was the best way I could have ended that sentence. See you guys later. I'll be back on shortly. So I want to say goodnight, but I shouldn't. So go like make a sandwich or something. See you soon. Bye-bye.